Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we will make a review on the two units, Unit 1, Big Changes, and Unit 2, Careers. All you need for the lesson today is your books for the two units, Big Changes and Career, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. So, we are all done with the first two units, which are Big Changes and Careers. We still have two more, which are What Will Be, and the art of advertising. So we are all done. Now, finished with the first two, we will make a review of these two units. If you want to review any unit, I want you to refer to the last lesson in each unit, which is the self-reflection. And the self-reflection in here, page 19 and page 33 for the first two units. You will find the categories or the things that you need to go over and check your understanding about. I will take them one by one and we will do it together. Before we start, let's look at this picture and try to come with a comment. I want you to comment on it. Come up with one or two sentences. What do we have? We're having here two who are trying to pull the rocks in here. However, what are they using? They are using this one. It's a square wheel. It is square and it is making their work harder. However, here someone is offering them a round wheel. He is offering them it, but they're saying, no thanks, we are too busy. What do you think? Where can you relate it? To the first or the second unit? I guess it is related to the first much more. Change is a good thing. It's constant. Always make sure that you accept change because it will improve and help you within your life. Okay, let's start with the first one. Each one, here we will have the objective or the category, like talk about global issues. Then you can refer to it on this page, page 7. What I want you to do in here, I want you to make a guess about the issue. I will give you a fact about it and an effect, my guessing about the effect. Then you will come up with the name of the issue. Only 2.5% of water on Earth is fresh. And also I can tell you that freshwater resources will decrease in the future. You can refer to your books on page 7 and find one of the global issues. Like what? It is freshwater problem. We are predicting that in the future we will have freshwater problem. How about the other? I will tell you a fact about it. It is about the endangered animals. What is a fact about endangered animals? Like pandas, tiger, African elephants, they are all endangered. And we can say that some animals will extinct. We will not have any more of them. Here we're speaking about the issue or the global issue, which is some animals are about to be endangered. How about in here? Global warming. What is global warming? The idea of the planet is heating up. Every year is hotter. Every summer is hotter than the previous one. If we continue to have global warming, what might happen? The sea level is going to rise because the ice and the ice is going to melt, so the sea level is going to rise. Then on page 8, we have covered the idea of using the simple present and the present progressive tense. When do we use this and when do we use that? We use the simple present for routine and habits, and for facts, something that will never change. However, for the progressive tense, we use it if something is happening now or temporary situation for a short period of time. Like, the sun shines most days. It is a routine, so simple past, shines every day. However, just today, so temporary situation, just today, it is not shining. The second one, he talks quietly. simple past because it is a habit. This is how we can describe him. However, now he is talking with a friend. Now. One more. My family lives in Riyadh. This is a habit or a routine. They live in Riyadh and they don't think about the idea of moving on. However, my brother is living in Jeddah for college. For college, because just for college for these 4 years, then he is moving back to Riyadh. So, is living. Let's try to do this exercise in here. Complete with the present tense or present progressive. Alexa and Mrs. Lewis. Hi, Mrs. Lewis. Where be Grace? Which verb to be is suitable with Grace? She. So, where is Grace? She be still upstairs. She. So we will choose here. She is still upstairs. I think she finished her project. Think is a stative verb. You can never use it with ing. I think she now working on her project. She is finishing her project. At the moment, she is finishing her project. Alexa, what do you and now? She will ask, what are you doing now? She looks at her while she is cooking. What are you doing? I am giving a class. I am taking a class. Lewis, I make pizza. Now, I am making pizza. Be you hungry? With you, we will use the suitable verb to be. Are you hungry? Yes, I. The verb to be with I. Yes, I am. Grace and I meet friends in a while for something that is about to happen. Are meeting friends in a while. We are about to meet someone in the future. Then we compared on page 8 between the simple past and the present perfect. What is the difference? Once we're having the time, the definite time, like 1990 or yesterday, you will use the simple past. Like I lived in Jeddah in 2010, when I have got the time, which is 2010. However, if it is indefinite time, no specific time, I have lived in Jeddah. You will use the present perfect when in the past, but I haven't told when. 2010, simple past. Finished action, an action that happened and it is all done. I read a book this summer. I finished the book this summer. And also, if it is an experience or a result, something I have tried in the past, so use the present perfect. I have read many books. I care about the idea of reading, not the time. Okay? Now, here I want you to speak about your experience or something that you have done, things that we usually do in Saudi Arabia. Let's speak about exploring the outdoors. Last year, I went hiking in Riyadh. This is the time, last year, so I went, simple past. Or, I will tell you about the experience. I have tried hiking in Riyadh. When? In the past. I have tried. One more. Let's speak about the idea of visit archaeological sites, visit historical sites. Have you ever been there? Or when did you do it? In 2018, I visited الأولى because I have the time. Also, I have been to الأولى once. When? 2018, but it wasn't mentioned. I have been or I have visited الأولى. One more. Explore the winter dunes, which are the red sands. Here, last winter, we went camping. Time, so went. One more. I have camped many times before. When? In the past. I'm counting the number, not the time. I have camped. Okay. One more thing on page 16. Asking questions and giving answers with did. Let's look at the picture in here. We're having someone who's working on, who is at home working on his computer, and it is 9. Did Ali go out yesterday? What do you think? Look at him. He didn't. So, no, he didn't. He didn't go out yesterday. What did he do? Look at him. What did he do yesterday? He stayed at home. You can say he watched TV. He worked on his computer. Notice? Stayed. Did he sleep early at 9? I guess yes. So yes, he did. He slept early. When did he sleep? Look at the time. He slept at 9. Yesterday, he slept at 9. It is a sentence. So, if you can answer these, you are all done with this one. Then, the idea on page 17, the idea of using the past progressive with when and simple past tense. Here, we're having 2 actions within one sentence. Long and short action. Here, sleeping, and we're having an alarm ringing. So on a timeline, the alarm rang, he was sleeping. He was sleeping maybe for 5, 8 hours, for long hour. Once in the middle, the alarm rang suddenly. So he was sleeping when the alarm rang. Long action, short action, and the short action with when. You can change the order. When the alarm rang, he was sleeping. Let's do the same in here. We have someone who's eating and a telephone ringing. So, on a timeline, the long action is eating, and the short action is the idea of the phone rang. So, here the sentence will be, he was eating when the telephone rang. Was eating, long action. Short action, rang, with when. Let's change the order. When the telephone rang, he was eating. The short action with when. Let's try to do this exercise. Ahmed Zuwail teach in California win the Nobel Prize. How long did he teach in California? Very long time, maybe 10 years. Win the prize just once. So we can say Ahmed Zuwail was teaching in California when he won the Nobel Prize. This is the short action, won, and was teaching is the long action. They crossed the border, the earthquake happened. Crossing the border and the earthquake in the middle. They were crossing the borders when the earthquake happened. Long action, were crossing, and happened suddenly. It happened. Okay, now the second unit, here talking about careers. On your books, page 20, I will describe a career for you, and what I want you to do is just to guess it. In this one, someone who will work as, will do this job, works with clay. This person makes car models. And this person as well works for automobile companies, for car companies. This person it requires the person to have artistic skill, to have a skill to be an artist, and also works with a team, not individual. You have to work with others. So this job, this interesting job, is to be a car sculptor. It is a car sculptor. If you want to be a car sculptor, what are the qualities or characteristics that you require to have these skills? We have discussed 12 of them. I only want you to choose 4. It requires the person to have flexibility and adaptability. Some problems might happen. You have to be able to adapt with the problems. Communication skills. You will work with others. You have to know how to tell about your ideas and write them down. Teamwork skills. You're not going to work by yourself. You're going to work with a group. And also interpersonal skills. That is how to deal with different kind of people, with your manager, with the customers, and with your colleagues. Interpersonal skills. One more in here. How about this job? Decorates houses. This person communicates with people. This person draws models and floor plans. This person requires an artistic skill, and he works with a team. If you have all of these and you do all of these, you should be an interior designer. A person who you will work with a team, you will have artistic skill, and you will draw models and floor plans. If someone is an interior designer, what are the qualities and the skills that are required by them? I want to be an interior designer. What are the skills that I should own or have? Skills like flexibility and adaptability. Also, communication skills. You will deal with different kind of people. Teamwork skills, and also organizational skills. You will have a project, you have to do it in an organized way, you have to be punctual on time, and you are required to work on a deadline. We're having 12 of them. You can choose any 4 which is suitable for the job. On page 22, we have compared here between the use of the present perfect simple, and present perfect progressive. When do we use the present perfect simple and when do we use the progressive? The simple, if I am asking a question of how many, I focus here much more on the number. However, and also, so I focus on the number. However, for the progressive, I focus here much more on the time. How long have you been doing this? So, the focus is on the time or the duration. Here and there we will have a number. However, this one is a number and that one is the quantity. How many? So, examples. How many pages have you read? How many? The number of pages. She has read 30 pages. Notice the 30. 30 here is the number, not the time. How long have you been reading that book? How long? I'm speaking here about the idea of time. How long? Hanan has been reading a book for 2 hours. 2 hours is the time, the duration. For how long? Since what? Present perfect progressive. ing form. I try to do this exercise. Here, I wanted to choose the present perfect simple or progressive. I have been looking for, or I have looked for, a job for 3 months. This is the time. So, it will be, I have been looking for a job for 3 months. And I still haven't found or haven't been finding one. Here, this is a number. I haven't found any. I'm counting the number of jobs. My father has worked or has been working at many different jobs during his career. The number of jobs. So he has worked at many jobs. Adnan has written or has been writing books for years. Maybe 3, 5, 10 years. So he has been writing for years, but he hasn't received or has not been receiving any awards yet. An award, it means 1. No award, 0. The number has not received. How many pages here? This is our keywords, which is how many. How many pages of that book have you read or have you been reading? Have you read? How long have you been reading that book? Okay. One more on page 22. Here, can you use the construction, which is adjective, any adjective, like interested, good, then the proposition plus a gerund. What is the gerund? The gerund means the verb plus ing and the whole as a noun. Speaking about play a sport, I want you to use interested in and good at doing. If someone plays a sport, he can say, I am interested in playing sports. Adjective, preposition, gerund. Playing sports. I am good at playing football. Adjective, preposition, and this one is the gerund. Also, I am good at scoring. Adjective, preposition, gerund. One more. I am interested in playing with a team. Interested is the adjective, in is the preposition, and playing. And we can come up with any other adjective or any other preposition. I am afraid of walking in the dark or sleeping in the dark, and other ones. Okay. On page 30, we're having the use of the simple present and ask WH questions. Here we're having Khalid, and he works at 8. What I want you to start with is to form a yes-no question. How can we form a yes-no question? We need to analyze works. What do I mean by works? The action, which is work, and because we've got S, we can use does. So, the yes-no question is, does he work at 8? What do you think from the sentence we can tell? Does he work at 8? So, doesn't work. Yes, he does. He works at 8. Now I want to ask a WH question about at 8. What is the suitable WH question word? Time. So we will use when. So when does he work at 8? Take out the answer, and this is the question. When does he work? So it is when does he work? The same in here. I want you to come up with a question, then the answer. Faisal do, and this is the answer, which is a car mechanic. What is the question for Faisal and do? We will say, what does Faisal do? We have used does because we have Faisal, which is who is a person, he. What does he do? The answer is, he is a car mechanic. Where, work, and the answer is garage. Where does he work? He, so we use does. Where does he work? The answer is, he works in a garage. An infinitive sentence, so we will use works, not does work. Okay. Then the idea of using relative pronouns. What is the relative pronoun? They are the who, which, and that. If I'm telling you that the candidate is qualified, we have 3 in here. 1, 2, and we're having also 3. You will ask me a question, which candidate? The first, the second, or the third one? So I have to be very specific. You will answer me, the one wearing green. So I'm speaking about this. He is qualified. So the sentence should be as the candidate who is wearing green is qualified. The one who is not everyone, this specific one. The one who is wearing green. So you will use who, which, or that if you want to use a relative sentence. Okay, in here we will use the relative pronouns who, which, or that. The new driver started work yesterday is very quiet. Driver, someone. So we can use who or that started work yesterday is very quiet. The products, things that or which they launched this week are selling well. The things or the products which. I'd like to introduce you to the person, to someone, which, who, or that organized the conference. Someone, who, or that organized the conference. That isn't the job. Job is something. That is not the job which or that he applied for. Just go before the blank and check whether a person or something, a person who or that, otherwise it will be which or that. Okay, Now we will use the use of the past progressive with while. All done with when. Now we will speak about the idea of while. For while, here we're having two long actions. Like here, Fatima talking on the phone and shopping at the same time, not interrupting, at the same time. So how am I going to form the sentence? Fatima was talking on her cell phone while she was shopping. She didn't stop shopping for using the phone. No, she's doing them at the same time. I'm giving a class while you are listening. While Fatima was shopping, she was talking on her cell phone. You can just change the order. If you start with while, do not forget to use your comma. One more. Look at Faisal in here. What does he do? He is studying. At the same time, he is listening to the radio or watching TV. So, studying and watching at the same time. So, Faisal was listening to the match and also while he was studying. And we can change the order. We can say, while Faisal was studying, notice the comma because we have while, he was watching the match or listening to the match. Two actions at the same time. For your homework, I want you to refer to your workbooks on page 95. There's an exercise just to choose the correct answer in there. Okay? Guess that is it for the lesson today, and thank you so much for your time.